Alright, what's up, yins guys? Time for another video. Talk about some stuff I see every now and then on the TV news. About, they show on the news like surveillance video of a particular person, and they say, oh, anybody knows of anybody this description, and call local police or whatever. I mean, on a TV news, shit like that about tagging buildings and the sides of people's businesses and shit like that. There are some people that do some pretty elaborate stuff for it being graffiti on the sides of train cars. I've seen that. I don't condone it, or I don't condone anybody doing any kind of shit unless it's something with some kind of valid permission that you're allowed or something like that. But these people that be tagging buildings and places, the absurdity of it. For one thing, I'm not gonna totally judge anybody if you're watching this and you did some stupid shit as a kid, as a juvenile, which in making my point, that shit is usually for juveniles that got caught or got in trouble for doing that, is being a dumb kid. You're barely in your teens. But for example, if you're like in some of the surveillance videos that the TV news would show, where, for example, first thing, if they don't get surveillance video, the police might actually see, okay, is it just some kids doing the shit, teenagers or wannabe gang members? But the tagging. If you're somebody that's out of your juvenile years, right, and you're 20s pushing 30 and you're running around at night thinking you're cool, tagging shit, like, what the fuck's the logic of that? Is somebody supposed to see that and be in awe? Are they supposed to be in awe? Are they supposed to be scared of something? Say I see a tag and nobody puts it there. I've seen places in every neighborhood I've been, people tagging stuff, everything on bridges. What the fuck's the point? What am I supposed to think? I'm actually used to it. I've seen it here and there. I'm not mortified by it, but I'm not impressed either. And I'm not triggered by every single one, of course not. You talk to yourself. I mean, it's just totally ridiculous. Totally ridiculous behavior. For example, when I say I'm not mortified, I'm not impressed, and I'm not triggered either. I'm basically saying if you want to twist my arm and get any reaction out of me, it's like, okay, it's some asshole that has no life, still lives with his parents, still lives in a room with his parents, 20, pushing 30, and, maybe if I were a juvenile doing it, but if you're a teenager, almost 20, you're damn near, if you're pushing 20, or even if you're 20 pushing 30 doing this shit, you're somebody that don't got no income, no job, no place of your own. You're still in that age, in a room in your parents' house, sneaking and smoking pot in your parents' house. Yeah, for example, you're like in your 20s, pushing 30, and still living in parents' house and longing for the times that you were caught drinking underage. You want to return to that at age, and you're probably fucking furnishing. You probably have no friends, little or no friends, and you're probably getting these teenage friends that are underage, and your only friends are those teenage underage kids that you're providing them cigarettes, furnishing alcohol against a lot of them, and maybe getting them some weed, or you have a tie to get weed, and trying to be badass because you got weed, and then maybe you have no friend. Those people have a tendency, most of them have a tendency to gravitate towards choosing friends that are teenagers because it's the only friends they could get. And then you use the slogan that's a slang slogan coming out of your mouth in a group. Yeah, you down with us? which I can do a whole lecture or video about what that really means. It's usually a harmless statement, but it actually means. So you say, you down with us, it actually means down with us. A bunch of people who have no desire to better themselves, hang with a bunch of losers or whatever, and you want to feel better about yours. Yeah, there's a lot of them around that I knew that way back that I went to school with that made fun of me, but they made failures out of themselves, but they had the choice and everything else. And yeah, what becomes of some of these people, they're living over their parents' house because they had a bunch of DUIs and they have to do some changing if they want to get their license back, got their license either taken off of them completely or got about 5 years or so before they get their license back. Yeah, these are the kind of people, they get in their 20s pushing 30 and they'll even be in their 30s even, right? Live in their parents' house. If they're lucky, they hold a job and they had all these DUIs and their only friends are teenage friends that sneak behind their parents' back and smoke. Yeah, any of you older people out there that are parents, yeah, I'm telling you what to beware of what your kids hanging around with, that they can be hanging with some loser that's the 20s pushing 30s, tagging buildings and probably furnishing your kids alcohol and getting them weed and giving them cigarettes. You wonder why your teenage kids ain't in school doing their work or whatever, even though and say your kids have some trouble in school, not huge trouble, have a hard time concentrating in school and they don't have a lot of friends in school. Parents, you need to look out for this. I know that sounds weird coming from some aging person with long gray hair that's balding, but guess what? I may be a 50-year-old curmudgeon and that completely lost the plot to some of these other woke kids out there. But guess what? I didn't get 50 years old and go gray and bald and get this far and live this long by doing stupid things. You know what I mean? Clean police record and condemned and plus, yeah, I'll also add there too that couple years ago during 2020, me and my partner really needed a place. Things got tight. We could have even been homeless, right? And I was on the internet condemning shit like that and condemning the riots and vandalism of 2020. For example, if I was a dumb, stupid kid that had the same mentality of what I mentioned, right, and pretend I was at my age, say I was going on social media glorifying vandalism, which before that all going on, the mentality of those people that already have no problem with tagging buildings, act like, yeah, instead of bettering yourself. But anyway, since I condemn shit like that, guess what? I got a place in a way nicer neighborhood. Anybody's kids that do shit like that and then glorify the wrong things on the internet, guess what? Go try to get any landlord in their right mind, are they going to rent to you? No, but to do stupid shit like that and think it's cool, and even grown-ass people doing this shit. It's on the TV news. It's like in surveillance cameras. Grown-ass people. And what it is they haven't left their teenage years, and just like I said, I'm not being overly sarcastic. The ones that their mentality is they're still stuck in their teenage years and long to go back to that underage drinking, and they have the tendency to also furnish liquor and cigarettes to minors and everything else. And my point is, instead of bettering somebody's self, go on tagging buildings and shit like that, they're the kind of people that saw the riots of 2020, which nobody are condemning, but they're still talking about the Capitol riots, right? The mentality of these people, I'm saying is, in 2020, they saw it as an opportunity. Oh, why better myself? They, in their own hearts, they know what losers they are. They know they're not fooling anybody, and they're not fooling anybody next to their town or anybody in their town. So the 2020 riots of 2020 happens, right? Which people did in all over the country and towns that had nothing to do with it, with nothing that had places that had nothing to do with what took place in a particular thing where something happened with police going on, all in towns that had nothing to do with it. What happened was these people, the losers that I was making reference to early in this video, they're like, oh, they know in their heart they're losers. Oh, I can practice my real nature, exercise my real nature, and look like a hero, join a bunch of other people that justify vandalism and tagging things and graffiti. Oh, that's for me. Or if the police actually find out who I am and capture me or whatever and arrest me and fight with police or whatever, or get caught red-handed vandalizing things, which is their nature. Oh, I'll be a martyr to my loser buddies. Go and got to get as many people as possible and maybe pander to the college kids that are academically smarter than them yet condone the bullshit. Yeah, get the college kids that you always got the college kids. These losers know this, that you get the college kids. These are the kind of people that will sell the college kids their drugs, right? Go end up parties and get high every now and then. That's been going in colleges for decades, right? And that's why these college kids enable such behavior. Yeah, they want to go back to the protests, like 60s protests, like they believe in them the protests in the 1960s like they're noble or something, which is far from the truth, which was more bullshit and all that. But oh yeah, I'll join a bunch of people in crowd and maybe make myself a hero and a martyr. That's for me. I don't really got to better myself or financially better myself. And matter of fact, destroy or desecrate the property of or cars of somebody who I happen to be jealous of. Destroy and desecrate something I can't have, and create a warped logic of, oh yeah, these people were in league with capitalism and they're materialistic. Yeah, unlike the conservative side, the church-going people, right? Some of them are materialistic or whatever, and they'll tell you, you know what I mean? God don't want you to be materialistic or whatever, or be greedy, if it's against your religion. And different sides of logic and religion are a totally different video. But as opposed to being noble, these people don't like religion, and I'm not sticking up for all religion. That's shit for an entire video. Their logic is, don't be materialistic, just destroy and desecrate what I can't have. Go and say they're in league with capitalists, and all it is they just want to go out and be degenerates and desecrate shit, and don't want anything by working for it or earning any money for it, and because it's easier to just go smoke weed, do whatever, and then hold a job, do some work as little as possible, and if you're lucky, hold a job. The primary, if any of these people hold a job, their primary purpose is to buy weed or buy some smoke, man, and buy their beer. Yeah, I work next to people like us that are like that actually held jobs for a while, but even the people that their only reason for holding the job, and if their whole life is getting drunk, stoned, and say you do hold the job as it is, and that's all you want to make money for, if that's all you want out of life, fine, as long as you don't destroy anybody else's shit. If you work for money and that's all you want to do, and your money you do get by working for it, you want to go buy weed, you want to buy other kind of drugs, I guess that's on you and your business too, But people with that mentality like to ridicule people that the money they work for, they want to go out and have a nice meal out every day, buy themselves something nice, you know what I mean? And hell, back when I was in my 20s, my hair was less gray and less bald, and I was buying nice stereos, nice leather jacket, which some of me instead of drugs. Well, some of even the ones that look like me that are the moderate drinkers, moderate pot smokers that hold jobs, some of them are pretty okay people as long as they're not doing like the other shit that I mentioned. You know, they'll have, say they're not addicts of other kind of drugs or whatever, have a nice new leather jacket. It's like we're having a Cadillac. Well, me, I didn't. No, I wasn't even. I basically was the person hippie rich without even the pot, and very seldom went to a place if it served beer. It would be if I had a beer, it was like a with a plate of food. But that's a little extra off the subject, too much about myself. But my point, I think I made talking too much about myself. It's just what I regarded somebody that looks like me as a status, nice stereo, like having a Cadillac. I didn't even smoke weed. I put it into it. My first job, putting it in a nicer stereo. Got lucky enough in Western PA having a pretty damn good job for being in Western PA. And people that, and they, believe it or not, there's people that looked like me that give me dirty ass looks that hated my ass for it because, yeah, they were in other lifestyles and that was so to them. But, and if you got this far in this video too, whether you look like me or whether you're black or white, anybody that's your kind, if you want nice things and you want to do better stuff and better yourself instead of engaging in all kind of bullshit, and you have something good for yourself and you take a different path other than your own kind, are not going to congratulate you for it. They're going to give you dirty ass looks, and they're going to try to gaslight you, or go to they'll get older, go to their little loser bars and run you down like a dog or whatever the hell to elevate their selves, you know what I mean? And you'll have the younger generation that is still in high school, like a couple years behind you, that were a same reflection of the dickheads that you went to school with, who will be giving you dirty ass looks because you got money in your pocket. That's the most primary thing. There's there ain't no kind of being thinking you're hip because you're with some kind of protest movement or any kind of pseudo gang or any kind of thing that's should really compete with. None of that shit should at all compete with one going his own way and bettering himself and having money in his pocket and all that, you know what I mean? You know, they'll call you some kind of bootlicker or snitch or whatever the fuck it is, or hell, they'll look at your YouTube videos that you're talking about this and saying, yeah, he's probably on meth or different things like that. I had cheap shots like that before too. You know, just some quick troll and run comments like that, you know what I mean? But guess what? Anybody else that don't like what I'm saying, guess what? I didn't get a nicer place in a nice neighborhood by being stupid, you know what I mean? But, you know, this was extra information that I didn't plan on saying, making this video longer, but it's true. The stuff you do shapes who you are, you know, and if you're people like that do shit like that never grows up, guess what? You reap what you sow, you know what I mean? Unless you get older and see the error of your ways and become self-righteous, and at least that's a lesser evil. You know what I'm saying?